Yo, it's Grant. This video is going to be how to make friends and become popular in a new city, or how to make friends anywhere. And I'm going to give you an easy friend framework that you can use to bring more abundantly amazing relationships into your own life. So this is how I think about it, right? So if you want a ton of friends, you're going to have to meet a ton of people. The question becomes, okay, how do you meet people? This is exactly what I'm going to show you how to do. So a couple different ways where you can meet people. Number one, and I'm not wasting time, I'm getting right into it, right? So number one, life. What does this mean? This means you're going to the grocery store, you're going to the coffee shop, you're going to the dentist, I don't know, you're just going random places. And when you go to these random places, you're going to start conversations with people that look like people that you want to make friends with, okay? Now, a lot of people are like, well, I don't know how to make conversation. Well, here's how you do it, because I got the Convo framework for you. So the first thing you want to do is compliment them to soften the interaction, get them to open up a little bit. So let's say they got some rings or something, right? You see them and you're like, hey, that's a sick ring. And they're like, oh, thanks, okay? Now you've broken the ice, right? Now what you want to do is ask a how or a why question. Keep this in mind. If someone's in the present, right? They have the past and they have their future. Now, we all have stories in our head of where we're going, you know? Oh, I moved here because I was doing this, and now I want to do this, and now I'm doing this. We all have a story like a river running across our mind. If you want to get somebody talking, you have to get them to start telling you what that river looks like. Oh, I was here and I did this. Oh, I did. You do this by how and why questions, right? So let's say we're at the freaking dentist, right? So someone's sitting there, they got a cool ring on. I'm like, hey, that's an awesome ring. They're like, oh, thanks. Now they're receptive to my behavior because I provided value right away. Then I say something like, do you live by here? Like, how come you're at this dentist office? And they're like, oh, yeah, I live down there. And you're like, oh, how did you even end up? Let's say you're in Kentucky. You're like Jones, Kentucky. Let's say you're like, oh, how did you even end up in Jones, Kentucky? And they're like, oh, actually, well, I did this and this and this, and now I moved here, da-da-da. And you're like, oh, awesome. So now you know a little bit about them. And you're like, that's crazy. Do you like it here? They're like, yeah, da-da-da. And you're like, oh, cool. You're like, yeah. Then you're relating, right? You're relating to their story. Oh, cool. Yeah, so I just moved from this place and now I do here. And I just moved here, so I'm looking to make friends. They're like, oh, cool. You're like, yeah, what's your Instagram? Let me get it. Now you get their Instagram, their number, their whatever. You just closed a friend, okay? So this is when you close them from life. Because you were at the dentist office, you close them from a life event. Now, keep in mind the law of 33%. 33% of the people that you meet are going to be a really good fit for you. They're going to be amazing. 33% of the people that you meet in life are going to be like, nah, kind of okay. And then 33% are going to hate you no matter what you do. And that's so important to keep in mind. So the goal is, obviously, to find the 33% that likes you. So let's say you talk to that person at the dentist and you're like, oh, they seem really awesome. Well, guess what? You throw them into your lead generation bucket. If you don't know what lead generation is, that is a business term. So a lead is just a qualified prospect. A lead is somebody that you might be able to turn into a friend. So you put them in your mental bucket, right? Maybe this is just a contact in your phone or whatever. So all it is somebody that you can reach out to hang out with, right? They're in your friend bucket, your lead generation bucket. So when you go about your life, you're going to talk to all these people, right? And then if you like them, and they're one of the 33% that you like, then you're going to throw them in your lead gen bucket. So you're like, okay, cool. This person might be a good friend. There you go. Now, where's another place that you can meet somebody? A hobby. So for me, for example, I played basketball in college. So I'll go play open gyms at like lifting gyms and stuff like that. So I'll go play basketball with people and I'll meet a lot of friends that way. So I'll be like, oh, bro, you killed it that game. He's like, oh, thanks. This is my conversation framework. Ready? So I play basketball with a guy and then we're going from there. So now we're waiting out for our turn. Here's what I'll say. This framework. So I'll be like, oh, bro, you killed it that game. He's like, oh, thanks. And I'll say something like, yeah, do you live around here? And he's like, oh, yeah, I live here and here and here. And I'm like, okay, cool. How did you even end up where you are right now? And he'll be like, oh, well, I was born here. Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Then I relate. And I'm like, yeah, I just lived over here. Then I just moved here. So I'm looking to, I'm just hanging out, meeting people, making friends. He's like, oh, nice. I'm like, yeah, bro, what's your Instagram? I get it. Boom. Now I have him here. So if he's one of the 33% that likes me, I met him from my hobby. So if I like him, I put him in the lead generation bucket. Boom, he could be a potential friend. Now, the reason that this is here is because when you meet somebody from life or a hobby, you usually want to do some kind of one-on-one event with them, right? So you hang out with them, you guys go do something, whatever. So you go lift, you bring that person. You go painting, you bring that person, right? You guys are just hanging out as friends. Now, if you hang out one-on-one and you realize that they're a cool person, well, you put them in your lead generation bucket. Does this all make sense? So literally all you're doing is you're finding people in different varied places of life So you can do it either like just life, dentist office, grocery store, stuff like that. Hobbies, so like the gym, playing basketball, painting, knitting, whatever you're into, you can find people that way. And the conversation framework is exactly the same. You just have a brief conversation with them. You're seeing if you guys are potentially a good friend fit. If they are, you put them in the lead generation bucket, right? That's that simple. So the key here is you just got to start having conversations. This is the conversation framework. Let's say you're in the grocery store. How do you do it there? Well, you're in the apple aisle. There's some dude that looks kind of like you and you want to make friends with him. So you go up and you're like, literally anything. It could just be any t-shirt, anything, a haircut, whatever, compliment. Hey bro, it's a sick shirt. Oh, thanks man. Yeah, no, it's awesome. Are you from here? Oh yeah, I am, da-da-da, or maybe no, I'm not, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. How did you even end up here? Out of all the places you could have moved to? Oh, well, I live here, I do this, I do that. Oh, that's awesome. Relate. Yeah, I lived here, or maybe you're there, maybe you're a lifer. Oh yeah, I've been here my whole life, da-da-da, now I'm starting to meet friends or do this kind of stuff. Oh man, cool, hey, yeah, do you have IG, bro? Yeah, whatever, okay, you guys changed contact information, boom, he's in the lead generation bucket, right? Now, you do this for like 2 weeks, you're going to have all these freaking people in your lead generation bucket. So what do you do with them, right? Well, you have a couple options. Number one, you can hang out with them again one-on-one and have some good friends. It's a lot easier if you guys are meeting at hobbies and you have some thing that you can connect on. But even if you don't, you can do what I call a friend event. So a friend event is when you do anything. So like when I lived in Oregon, I would do like poker tournaments, right? So I'd invite all these new people I met to a poker game. Or I would do brunches on Sundays. So we'd bring all these new people into brunches. So I'd meet a lot of people that way, right? So essentially what you're doing is you have some event that you do weekly or bi-weekly, and you have a reason to meet all these people. So then let's say you do a poker game or a frickin' brunch or whatever. It could be a lunch. It could be like you guys go go-karting. It could literally be anything that you want. You guys go bowling. It doesn't matter. You're just having a good time. Now, you're going to invite these people to go to your friend event. And guess what? When you invite them to your friend event and they come, congratulations, you just made a friend. So you have a lot of friends. But here's the crazy part. All these people from your lead generation bucket that you invite to your friend event, they're going to know people. So you can be like, hey, bro, we're doing this. You can bring a friend if you want. Okay, cool. So now you tap into their friend bucket. So you have all their friends that you could also tap into that they're going to bring to your container event or your friend event. So you're like, okay, cool. Well, I got all these people to come to my event. They have friends that they can bring to the event, and you're going to like some of these friends. You're going to not like some of these friends. You can pick and choose who you want. You're tapping into their network. Here's the crazy part. The friends that they bring are going to have friends that aren't friends with these people. So literally, you have the world at your fingertips at this point. So literally, you just going out and talking to people from your hobby or from life and putting people into this bucket and then inviting these people to places, you're building a friend group. And then you can tap into your friends' friends. It's literally that simple. So eventually you get to the point where you have a bunch of friends that you genuinely enjoy hanging out with, and your life is absolutely amazing. So it's a super simple process. I've done this like 30 times in my own life in new places. It works. And yeah, just go do it. Make some friends. Deuces.